There's lots more than I could see. Hello everybody that I haven't already said hello to. I didn't see you there. So I need to get to, not very good at working Rachel's technology. So I'm going to speak of you. And if you could just all bear with me a minute, I'm just going to have to get Rachel to just get me onto the view that I want, because I can't find it. So just bear with me one sec.
Okay, so if you go gallery view,
Yeah, and
press on you, pin video.
I didn't see me.
There you go.
Okay, that's right. We are recording. So we're live, everybody. Way to go. So welcome those of you who are watching this in real time, and a very big welcome for those of you who are watching it at a more convenient time for you. It's really great to be here and share this with you. Tonight, there's no particular lofty theme. I'm just going to invite you to be really present with yourself, to unite the body and the breath and come home to yourself, and just be really, really aware of what's going on in your body, and tune that inner ear in to listen to all those subtle messages that the body is giving you. Please, the usual rules apply. Take child's pose at any time. Don't wait for me to invite you to do that, because chances are I will have forgotten. You are in charge of your own body, your own practice, and it's up to you to take what you need when you need it. If something doesn't suit you, back out, take child's pose, take a rest, join us again when you feel like you want to. So now, without further ado, I'm going to invite you to come onto your backs and close the eyes and settle in and start to arrive. And now putting the day behind you, starting off with both feet on the mat, knees bent, and really feel the feet grounding. Get that connection with the feet and the earth. And now just start to tune into the breath. Be a witness. How am I showing up? What is the breath doing? Is it long and full? Or is it maybe a bit short and a bit ragged, still caught up with whatever's been going on today? Don't judge, just notice. And now start to turn some conscious awareness. So placing both hands lightly on the abdomen, breathing into the lower abdomen, feeling the belly rise. Feel the breath move up to fill the barrel of the chest, the rib cage, and draw in a little bit more breath, and maybe feel the collarbones lifting. And now just relax, and the breath will flow out from the top, through the middle to the bottom. Belly button draws back lightly to the spine. Once again, breathing into the abdomen, up into the barrel of the chest, up to the top of the chest. Just notice the little pause, and then relax the top of the chest, the barrel of the chest, the abdomen, and let the belly button draw back in lightly to the spine. And as you do this, start to listen, and when you feel that you're on the exhale and the belly button's drawing lightly back to the spine, can you feel just a little bit of engagement in the pelvic floor? It's subtle, it's not a clenching, but as the belly draws in, just see if you can feel that little light bit of engagement. It's kind of almost about the level of the cervix. And you can almost maybe feel a little bit of engagement in the inner thighs. So just breathing in and then breathing out. Belly just pulls slightly in towards the navel, just feeling that little bit of engagement. And that little bit of engagement is Mula Bandha, the root block. So it's quite subtle. And now just releasing from the breath practice, stretching both feet out so that the legs are straight. Bring the arms up overhead, and we're going to come into Supta Tadasana. So it's our mountain pose, but we're lying on the mat. So flex the feet, so that means both toes are pointed up to the skies. You're pressing out through the heels, arms are stretched up overhead. And try not to hollow the lower back too much. Try to have the lower back coming just slightly down towards the mat. And keep breathing. And now bringing the arms back overhead, hugging the knees into the chest, and maybe having a little rock from side to side, just easing out the lower back. And then from here, placing both feet on the ground, mat width apart, arms out to the side in a T shape. And now we're going to windscreen wiper the legs. So allowing both knees to twist over to the left, upper body and neck, if it's okay in your neck, twist over to the right. Inhale back to center, exhale, both knees go to the right. And upper body and head look over to the left. Inhale back to center, exhale to the left. Inhale back to center, exhale to the right. And we should be feeling maybe you can feel a nice twist all the way from that top knee up through the side body. So we're just working on opening up the body. Release, come back to center, hug both knees into the chest. And now placing the left foot on the ground, lifting the right leg up to the sky, and either taking hold of behind the thigh of the lifted leg or the calf, or if the hamstrings are really long, of the toe. And really squeeze the quad of that leg, squeeze, 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 so that the quad is firm, the kneecap is lifted, press the heel away, drawing the toes back down towards you. And then from here, just start to circle that leg a little bit in the hip. Just little tiny circles. And now back the other way. Just getting a sense that the hip is a ball and socket joint and it moves in every direction. In the Western world, because of our practice of sitting in chairs, etc., we tend to just use the hip as a hinge joint, moving backwards and forwards. But actually, it's got a really big range of motion. And coming to stillness. And now drawing that lifted leg over the center line of the body, placing the hand in that hip crease to press the hip down and away from you, and just allow that leg to come over. And breathing into that stretch. And then back to center, release the leg, now lift the other leg. Once again, either taking hold behind the thigh or the calf or the toes, and firming that quad, lifting the kneecap, pressing the heel away from you, drawing the toes back towards the earth, and just have a really good stretch here. Breathe into the stretch, listen to what the body's telling you. And now just gently circling that leg, just little tiny circles in the hip joint. Just engaging with that ball and socket feeling. And now circling the other way. And now drawing that leg across the center line. Once again, the thumb goes into the hip crease of that leg, pushing the hip down and away from you, and just breathing into that stretch along the outer edge of that leg and thigh. And back to center. Hug both knees into the chest. And now taking happy baby. So that the arms come up through the inside of the legs, taking hold of the outside of the feet. Or if that is not okay in your body, you can clasp behind the back of the thighs. And think of drawing the feet down towards the body, but with the hands, but pressing the feet away from the hands. So you've got a bit of resistance between the hands and the feet. And think also of now lengthening the tailbone away. So you're not curling up, you're lengthening the tailbone away. So it's quite an active stretch. We're really starting to get into those hips. And release, coming back to center. And now taking hold of both knees, one hand on each knee. We're going to push the knees away, out to the side and round in a circle. Push away, out to the side, back round in a circle. So we're really starting to get some mobility. Keep circling. And now the other way. So this time we're drawing the knees up towards the chest, pushing out round in a circle. Brilliant. And now we're going to hug both knees into the chest, but without using our hands. So we're going to use the power of the hip flexors and the core. So hugging the knees into the chest, tight as you can. And release. That's quite strong, isn't it? And this time taking right knee in, drawing the left leg out, hover it just above the ground, and lifting the chest so that the chest and the chin come towards the raised knee, and release, changing legs. Same thing on the other side, hover that outstretched leg, engage the belly, lifting from the chest, drawing the chest and the nose towards the knee of the raised leg, and release. And now just stretching both legs out again, and now just slipping the hands under the curve of the neck so that you just take hold of the back of the head, just the base of the skull, and just gently lift it and lengthen the neck. And from here, bring the hands to the jawbone near the ear, and just with little circling movements, just start to ease out the jaw. We hold a lot of tension in the head and the jaw, so just lovely little circling movements. Just giving a lovely little massage, just releasing that jaw. Putting the tension away. See if you can feel any difference. Just noticing in. And now, just take your attention to the tip of the tongue. Give it a little wiggle. Take your attention to the root of the tongue. Release it. tongue. Just give it a little wiggle. And just see if you can notice, has that released any tension? For me, this is always magical. Apparently, I have a very tense tongue. Maybe I talk too much. Anyway, from here, drawing the knees back up to the chest, placing the hands behind both thighs, and we're just going to rock along the length of the spine. So lots of lovely rocking. Rock, 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 rock. Rock, rock, rock. And now rocking up to sitting, but without bringing the feet to the ground, coming into a boat shape with the shins parallel with the ground, feet flexed, arms stretched out in front. And breathe. And drawing the hip flexors, drawing the thighs back in towards the chest, drawing the chest up towards the thighs, and breathing. And then from here, bending the knees, taking hold of both big toes, and stretching the feet out straight. Now chances are I'm going to roll over backwards, and some of you might as well. And if you do, have a good old roll, a good laugh, and enjoy it. So once again, we're drawing the hip flexors, we're drawing the thighs back to the chest, we're drawing the chest up towards the thighs, and breathing. And then from here, take the legs out wide. I'm going. Whoops. Legs out wide. It's a balance. We're also opening the inner thighs. And then keeping the legs lifted. Letting go of the toes. Drawing the hands to the centre. Palms together. And now draw the legs in and give the arms a really good squeeze. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. So we're waking up the adductors, the inner thigh muscles. And now taking hold of the toes again. Coming back to have another little rock. And now we're coming up to sitting. So from here, just coming over so that you're kneeling and the toes are going to be tucked. We're just going to give the feet a little bit of love. So this is a Marmite pose. You either love it or hate it. Some of you will be wishing you had a doll looking like me to stick pins into right now, and others will be like, nah, we're all different. So coming back to sit on the heels and make sure every little toe's on the ground, so make sure the little toe's caught as well. And just sitting back and just giving a really good stretch to the plantar fascia on the underside of the foot. And maybe reaching back and just giving those feet a little bit of love. Just a lovely little massage. And now from here, pressing the way up to stand. And from here, taking both hands behind the back, bending the knees as much as you need to feel happy in the lower back, leading with the chest, we're going to fold forward. Letting the arms come up overhead. Remembering to ground through the feet, feel the feet really rooting and connecting with the earth. Making the weight go into all four corners of the feet so it's even across the ball of the foot, the outer edge of the foot by the little toe, and both sides of the heel. And bending the knees, lifting the chest to rise. And now changing the cross of the hands, so crossing them the funky way. And I'm going to turn so you can see me. So bending the knees as much as you need to keep the lower back happy. We're going to bend over to the side, taking the arms down to the centre, and then come back up again. So having a little side bend down, a forward bend. Once again, bending over to the side, taking the arms to the centre, and come up again. Change the cross of the hands. Same thing, other side. So bending the knees if you need to, come over to the side, through the centre, and back up. over to the side, through the centre, and back up. And now from here, opening the arms wide, sweep them up overhead, hands to touch in prayer position, and now sweep the arms wide, folding forward from the hips, come into a forward fold. And from here, taking hold of both big toes, coming into Padangusthasana. So that's big toe pose. So from here, drawing up with the fingers and the thumbs on the big toe, pressing down with the big toe at the same time. So you've got that, like we did with Happy Baby, you've got the two lines of action going on, bending the elbows and folding in. And breathe into that stretch. Now, bring your awareness to the body and ask yourself what is going on. There'll be obvious parts of your body screaming for your attention, but see if you can just turn the volume down on those a little bit and see if you can listen for the other areas. What else can I feel? What are the more subtle signals that my body's sending me? And release. And then inhale, sweep the arms back overhead. Hands to the heart in prayer position. And from here, standing, bring the arms maybe to goddess, maybe out to the side, maybe overhead, maybe to prayer, yogi's choice. Lift the leg. I can never tell if I'm mirroring or not. So lift one leg, and now we're going to be like Indian dancers. So we're going to turn the leg out to external rotation, turn it back in for internal rotation. So we're making some lovely little circles. So channel your inner Indian dancer. Try to make the movement come from the hip as opposed to the whole pelvis. Whoops, a bit of a challenge on the balance as well. Whoop. And changing legs. So lifting the other foot, taking a second to get your balance. Maybe see if you can switch up the arm position. And then just turning that leg out and rotating it in. So the hip will go into external rotation and internal rotation. And in yoga we do an awful lot of external, but we don't always pay attention to the internal. So it's good to take the full range of motion and release and come to stillness. So having just done that little exercise, ground through the feet, and we're going to come into tree pose. So we're going to start by lifting the leg, and we're going to actively lift it and lower it. So we're like doing ballet legs. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. And now lift and bring the foot somewhere on the inside of the standing leg. So maybe it's here at the ankle. We all have better and worse balance days. If this is a bad balance day and you're nowhere near a wall, take a nice low version. Maybe you want to come to the calf, or maybe you want to come above the knee. Trying to keep the pelvis as level as you can. Find a drishti. So that is a point of focus, a non-moving spot somewhere in your room. Let the eyes be soft, but focus on that spot. Arms can be wherever you like, maybe overhead, maybe you want prayer, maybe you want goddess, cactus, maybe you just like to take a mudra. And now tune in. What's the body saying? What's moving? What's in stillness? What can I release? Oh, give the jaw a wobble. Feel the messages coming up from that standing foot, the proprioception as the body works to find and maintain its position in space. And now turning that lifted leg to the front and release, shaking out the standing leg. Everybody thinks it's the top leg that does the work, but actually it's the standing leg that's doing all the work here. And so once again, big toes to touch, grounding through the feet, really feel yourself rooting down into the earth. And this time we're doing ballet leg again. So in, out, in, out, in, out, and then finding your place for the leg to stay. Maybe it's here, toes on the floor. Still needs a balance. I can still feel proprioception going on with my standing foot. Maybe this is your place. Foot on the inside of the calf of the standing leg. Or maybe you want to come above the knee. Never on the knee, but maybe above the knee. Ooh. And then finding your drishti. I just noticed whoop, having a bad balance day on this side. Whoopsie, once you've, whoa. Do you know what? I'm going here. Take this one. Still bad balance. So once again, take whatever arm position you fancy. Maybe you want to switch it up. I took this mudra last time. This time I'm going to bring my arms overhead. And breathe. And once again tuning in. What's the body saying about this? And now turning the leg to the center and release, shaking out the standing leg. Excellent. And then from here, turning to face the short edge of your mat, sweeping the arms up overhead, coming into Utkatasana, Utkatasana, chair pose. So really feeling the weight sinking down in the feet and the weight sinking back as you sit. Arms can be reached up, arms can be in cactus, hands can come to prayer. Yogi's choice. This is your practice. Find your sweet spot. And then from here, we're taking a twist. Arms are wide. Back to the center. Twisting the other way. Arms are wide. Back to the center. Twist the first way. Arms are wide. Twisting the other way. This is an active twist. We're not using any leverage. We're just using the body muscles to do the twist. And from here, bending down, placing both hands on the ground. And then taking hold of the opposite elbows. In Uttanasana, we just sway it out a little bit. Changing the cross of the elbows. And from here, placing both hands flat on the mat. Stepping back into downward facing dog. It's our first downward dog of the night. So just take a few seconds just to inhabit it. Make it your own. Maybe pedaling out the legs. Maybe you want to lift a leg. Maybe you want to open out a hip. Maybe bending the knees, drawing the chest back so that the chest comes towards the top of the thighs to get that real length in the spine. And without losing that length, just start to straighten the legs, pushing the calves back, pushing the thighs back, and keeping the chest drawing back towards the thighs, hips lifted. And from here, bringing your right hand slightly more to the centre, bring the left leg underneath you and turn out to the side. So we're in kind of a side plank. Turning back to the centre, replacing the foot, bringing the hand back to where it was. This time bringing the left hand slightly more to the centre, drawing the left leg under, and again turning out to the side in a kind of a side plank. Coming back to centre. And then re-establishing your downward facing dog. And from here, rocking forward into plank, beloved plank. And in your plank, lifting the right leg, keeping the belly firm, engaging the quads, using all the muscles in that right leg to hold it up. Maybe you're starting to shake a little bit, I am. Replacing the leg. And now lifting the left leg, pressing it out through that heel, engaging the quads, engaging the hamstrings at the back of the leg. We spend a lot of time stretching them, but we also need to work them, engaging that glute, belly is firm, and release. And now dropping the knees, pressing back for a little rest in child's pose. Maybe just swaying a little bit from side to side. And then from here, pressing up and back into downward facing dog. Growing tall, growing high on the balls of the feet. Stepping the right foot lightly between the hands. Plant the back foot. And we're coming up for warrior two. So just paying attention. The heels are broadly in line with one another, or you can go heel to arch. The front shin is vertical. The front sitting bone kind of tucks under so that that hip is opening out. And then the weight is coming into the outer edge of the back foot. Pelvis is level, lifting the chest so we're not leaning forward, extending the arms to the side, turning the palms up. And from here, going to straighten the leg, arms up overhead, and bend, and straighten, and bend, and straighten, and bend. And from here, placing the front arm, in my case the right arm, on the right thigh, sweeping the back arm up overhead, we're taking extended side angle. And now, let's release the front arm. So it's no longer resting on the thigh, it's just in space. So that your side angle, your body is holding that stretch. You're not just relying on dumping into that front thigh. And pressing back into the outer edge of the left foot. Feeling that long line of stretch right from the back foot through to the front fingers. And you're really having to work because you're not resting the front arm on anything. And from here, coming back to warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Just take a rest a minute with the arms. And then from here, once again lifting the arms out, lift the front arm up a little, move the body sideways over the front leg, and then coming down into triangle pose. Maybe the front hand rests on the front shin. Maybe it comes to the ground or a block. And if it's okay in your body, opening the top arm up towards the sky and pressing back into that back foot, trying not to lock out the knee, keeping that length in the body, and breathe. And now just check in. There's obvious things screaming at you, but what else can you feel? What other little parts of the body are sending messages? What are their messages? And then using the back arm as a lever, coming to rise, back into warrior two. Straighten the leg, turn the back foot to face the front, stepping forward, sweep the arms up overhead, folding forward, Uttanasana. Just take a little rest. Oops, got a bit close to the gongs there. Nearly had a free gong bath. Wouldn't have liked it with me. Just have a nice little dangle. Then sweeping the arms up overhead, hands to the heart in prayer. And now from here, nope, facing the wrong way. So from here, stepping forward with the left foot, swinging the back foot, coming into warrior two, bending the front knee, grounding the back foot, just checking the alignment of the feet, heel to heel or heel to arch. Bending that front knee so that the front shin is vertical, pelvis is level. Weight is coming into the outer edge of the back foot, tucking that front sitting bone under to open the hip, stretching the arms out to the side and just turning to gaze over those front fingers. And from here, we're just going to turn the head to the centre. We're going to come into eagle arms. So left arm crosses over right, and we're coming into eagle arms. We've got the legs of a warrior and the arms of an eagle. And breathing. And can you sit a little lower? And release. And now just changing the arms. So this time, right arm comes to the top, left arm underneath, eagle arms, warrior legs. And now have a listen into the body. See if you can bring your awareness to all the little parts and not just the screaming ones. And release. Arms out to the side. And from here, coming into extended side angle, so we can start with the left forearm on the left thigh, sweeping the right arm up overhead, and then releasing that front arm, so it's not supporting us. We're using the weight of the body, we're using the body muscles to actively support ourselves, stretching from the outer edge of the back foot all along the side body, up to the fingers. Listening for the messages, maybe there's some shaking going on. And then keeping the front knee bent, coming back to stand for warrior two, then straighten the front knee. Bring the arms down and just rest for a second. And then from here, raising the arms again, lifting the front arm, extending the body to the side over the front leg, and then lowering down for triangle. Keeping the length in through the side body, reaching up. If it's okay with your neck, you can turn to look up. Otherwise, just gaze straight ahead or even turn to look to the floor. And breathe. Takes quite a bit of effort in this position to breathe because you're having to breathe into the side ribs and they're already stretched. Using the back arm as a lever, coming to stand, bending the front knee into warrior one, straighten the front knee, and turn to step both feet to the front. So both feet are parallel with the short edge of your mat, hands on the hips, leading with the chest. We're going to take a wide-legged forward fold. Hands come to the ground. Allow the head to drop down. And breathe. Keeping the inner arches lifted, keeping the inner ankles lifted, keeping a light engagement towards the centre. And from here, walking the hands around to the right to take a little twist. Now walking the hands back through centre, round to the left, take a little twist. And then back to centre. And leading with the chest, hands on the hips, keeping the spine long, lead with the chest to lift. And then just heel toe the feet together. And then from here, coming to face the short edge of your mat again. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, folding forward to Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands come to the shins, spine is straight. Exhale, folding in. Bend the knees if you need to get the hands to the mat. Step the right foot back, step the left foot back, downward facing dog. Rocking forward to plank. And from here, either drop the knees and roll down from the hips or lower to the ground in one straight line. Pressing up and back into downward facing dog. Growing tall on the balls of the feet. Step the right foot forward. Step the left foot forward to meet it. Folding in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, sweeping all the way up to rise. Hands to the heart in prayer. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, folding forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands to the shins. Exhale, folding forward. Step the left foot back. Step the right foot back. Downward facing dog. Rocking forward to plank. And either dropping the knees and rolling down from the hips to the ground or lowering to the ground in one straight line through Chaturanga. Inhale, coming up into a low cobra. Exhale, coming back into downward facing dog. Step the left foot forward between the hands. Step the right foot forward between the hands. Folding in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold in. Inhale, reaching the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart in prayer. And now, making our way onto the mat. So we're going to come into the cooling down phase. So taking a wide-legged seat. And then just walking the hands out in front of you. The spine is long. Just starting to feel the energy starting to shift back down. We've done the solar phase, now we're into the lunar phase. Just starting to feel the breath again. And then from here, folding the left leg in so that the foot comes to the inner thigh. Lifting the arms up overhead. Turning to face the outstretched leg, folding forward. Janu Shirshasana. Maybe the hands can take the foot. Maybe they just want to rest on the ground. So we've got a little bit of a twist going on as well as a side bend. Trying to press away with the bent knee. And folding over the outstretched leg. And maybe from here, you can take a little twist. So taking hold, either putting the hand to the inside of the outstretched leg
Maybe you can take hold of the toe. Some of you can even take hold of the toe, have your hand on the ground and reach right round and take the toe with the other leg. Not in my body in this lifetime, I can tell you. And release. Inhale to come back to center. Changing legs. And once again, inhale, turn to face the chest over the outstretched leg, folding forwards. Pressing away with the knee of the lifted leg. Maybe the hands stay here, either side of the thigh. Maybe you'll start there, and as the body relaxes a little, you'll find that there's a little bit more length come, and you can take hold of the foot. Breathing to lift a little, exhaling to lengthen. Maybe from here, taking that twist again, taking hold of the toe or hand to the inside of the thigh and reaching up overhead to take a side bend and a twist. Or the top arm can actually come behind you and tuck into your waistband. It's also very nice, drawing that top shoulder back. Inhale, come back to center and release. And now making our way onto the back, coming into a bridge pose. So grounding with both feet. We're just going to do our dynamic bridge pose to start with. So inhale, pressing into the feet, press the knees away, lift the arms up overhead, synchronizing everything with the breath, and then exhaling to slowly lower everything back to the ground. Carry on in your own time, just synchronizing the movement with the breath. So it becomes a meditation. And now, I'm just going to move towards a final twist. So options to take a double knee twist, where you move the hips over to one side, bend up the knees, then bend them over to the side. Option to take a single leg twist, where you stretch out the bottom leg and place the foot on the thigh of the extended leg and take the twist over. Or we make eagle legs with the this foot on the floor, make eagle legs and take the twist with eagle legs. Yogi's choice, they are all of equal value. There's no hierarchy. Just take whatever feels good in your body and start to really relax, feeling the breath deepen. Once again, wobble the jaw, wiggle the tongue, the root and the tip. Maybe sort of, without opening the eyes, if they're shut, blink the eyes a bit, move the forehead up and down, and then just let everything go. Coming back to center. And now shifting the hips to the other side. and taking whatever form of twist you took the first time around. Maybe bringing a hand to the knee, just to deepen the twist a little. Then returning to centre. Now hug the knees into the chest. Have a little rock. Placing both feet flat on the floor. Lifting the right foot to place the right outer ankle on the left thigh. And then maybe lifting the left leg. Hands can come under the thigh, or for some of you, hands will come around the shin. Or some of you will be happy just to have the leg lifted, and some will just want the foot on the ground. Whichever version you're taking, press the right knee away from you. And breathe. And release. Just changing sides. So this time, outer edge or left ankle comes to the top of the right thigh. Taking whatever version feels good in your body on this side. Pressing the left knee away. And just breathing into the stretch. Listening to what the body's saying. And release. And now doing anything that you need to do to get yourself warm and cozy, ready for Shavasana. If anybody's got a wall, I don't, and in my house I find it very difficult to find a wall, but if anybody does have a wall, I invite you to take your Shavasana with legs up the wall. It's absolutely luscious. It's such a beautifully restorative position, and legs up the wall is a great thing to take if you come in from work, you're tired, you just need a bit of restoring, or you just want to unwind before bed. Legs up the wall. Anyway, you should all be nice and cozy now, making your way onto your backs for Shavasana. Closing the eyes. Just feet nearly as wide as the mat, allowing the ankles to just turn out. Arms out to the side, about sort of 45 degrees, tucking the shoulders under, making sure the neck is long, not craning up too much. Just getting really, really comfortable so that you can just let go. And now just tuning into the body. All of the work is done. Starting from the top of the head, relaxing from the crown of the head, relaxing the temples, Letting go of the forehead, the eyebrows. Eyelids are soft, not clenched. Give the jaw a little wobble. Release the root of the tongue, tip of the tongue. Throat is soft. Notice where the back of the body is touching the ground. Feel the earth gently holding and supporting you. For those of you with the time and the inclination, stay exactly where you are. Take as long in Shavasana as you can. For others, start to bring some gentle movements back in the body, allowing the breath to deepen, maybe wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes. Rolling gently onto your side, just taking a few more moments of precious rest in the fetal position. And now using the hands, pushing your way up to sitting, keeping the eyes closed, taking a comfortable seat. Taking off glasses if you're wearing them, rubbing the hands together vigorously to create a lovely heat in the palm of the hands. Really, really lovely heat. And when you've got what you consider to be a lovely amount of heat, just cupping those hot palms over the eye sockets. And just allow the eyes to relax and bathe in the warmth. And gradually blinking the eyes open,
Just allowing the fingers and the hands to fall away from the face. Then hands to the heart in prayer position. We've breathed, we've moved. We've done a very grounding practice, rooting ourselves back to the earth, coming home to ourselves. And we've worked with awareness of the whole body, not just the screaming, shouting bits, but the little, often unheard bits. And now, I thank you for joining me and joining each other in this practice. I've been absolutely amazed at how, even though we're connected over the ether, I have really felt a real connective energy with everybody. And now, bowing the head, Namaste. I thank you for joining me and each other in this practice. And whatever it is you're going to do for the rest of the evening or the rest of the day, I hope you'll go forth relaxed and refreshed and grounded. Thank you. If anybody would like to talk to me after the class, please stay on and I'll be happy to chat. Thank you.